Chairman. Good morning. Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City. Proceedings will begin. The board is now in session. If you're in possession of any type of electronic device, please place said device on the off or silent mode during proceedings. Mr. Chairman, there being no preliminary matters, I call the very first case on the AM docket, Thomas Looney and Anne Marie Langton, Gypsy Bar LLP, trading as Gypsy Queen, 3515 Clipper Mill Road. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license, an application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license requiring $200,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities and seating capacity for a minimum of 75. Please come forward.
May I ask everyone who's come forward to please raise his or her right hand, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do, yes.
And can you, one at a time, speak into the mic, give us your name, and if it's a difficult one, spell it for our reporter, please.
Anne Marie Langton.
I have your name.
Thomas James Looney.
I have yours. I know you.
William Bauer.
And these, you'll have to spell yours and give them to me.
Yours.
Oh, mine.
I know Will.
Yeah. Elissa Strati, Elissa Strati.
And my name is Alfred Strati, Alfred Strati.
And those are the landlords of the property.
Okay. Are you going to make a proffer to us about this, Mr. Bauer?
Sure. I'd love to introduce our friends here. Miss Anna Marie and Mr. Tom, back in the 90s, had a place called Helen's Garden. You might remember from O'Donnell Street back in the day. They went through the brick and mortar phase of life, and then they came into the food truck phase of their life, the Gypsy Queen food truck. The Gypsy Queen truck has been in operation for at least 7 years now, and now they want to make a marriage of the two. And this is where I turn over the show to Mr. Tom.
Okay.
Thank you for hearing our application
If you will
today.
speak
Yes.
into this, because we're
Okay, great.
being recorded.
Thanks for hearing us today. Thank you. About 7 years ago, Anne Marie and I downsized our restaurant in Canton called Helen's Garden. After 15 years, it was a very successful business, and we went into the smaller business of food trucks, thinking that it would be less effort for us to do. It turns out it's exactly the same effort from a very large restaurant. So we have decided, when the Stratis offered their warehouse, which is next to our current commissary space, we decided to have the idea of putting our Helen's Garden restaurant together with the food truck. It's a trend there's about 25 restaurants like this currently in the United States. The idea is, actually, it's somewhat of a gimmick, but that's what you do to make money sometimes. It's the restaurant itself is all inside with seating for approximately 80 people, and we want a wine bar inside. We would like a wine bar inside. The actual kitchen space would be the food truck, which is immediately outside the door. So the servers would actually go to the food truck, pick up the food, and bring it inside to the patrons. And we have seen this work, again, 20 times. These pictures are of existing spaces that are similar. You can see some of them have the food truck inside, and some of them are outside. Ours would be outside, permanently. We want to make sure you understand, permanently located outside. We wouldn't take the truck away and drive it around. It would be actually the kitchen of the space.
So,
There's also a kitchen that's already existing there that backs up the food truck. That, of course, is a
Right.
brick and mortar kitchen that all food trucks are required to have to begin with. So there's actually a physical kitchen that you cannot move along with the kitchen that will be on 4 wheels that won't move.
so on a
Right.
rainy or snowy night, how do your servers?
Well, actually, the truck will be almost directly against the door.
Oh, okay.
So there's, a very short distance would be needed, which could be covered.
Oh, I see. But the truck is not going to also be traveling around town to serve anyone else? It's just
No.
going to be permanently at this location?
We have 2 trucks. Our one truck will go out as usual, and this truck will stay at the space.
And of course, they're not asking for the liquor license to apply to the traveling truck
Right.
at all. That's just for the facility.
I understand.
Not yet, at least.
Okay.
This legislative year.
And the Stradis own the property, right? And can you step over, and how long have you owned the property?
30.
We purchased the property in 1990.
And how is it being used now?
It's a warehouse and industrial yard.
Okay.
There's a mechanic there, there's an ice cream factory there, and Tom's been there for a goodly number of years.
And so you're only renting a portion of it to the restaurant?
That's correct.
Okay. The commissioners have questions?
Is this across from,
Do you know where Taharka does their headquarters?
no,
It's Ash and Clipper. If you go down Ash and you make,
Clipper Mill.
in Clipper Mill.
Clipper
So
Mill,
it-
so it's right across from where the health club is
It's
and
further-
the pottery,
Yeah.
a little further down.
Further towards
Okay.
the city.
And it's not the fall side, it's across the street. It's not in the flood section. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness, right. So first of all, I guess my comment is I love the Gypsy Queen truck, and yeah,
Thank you very much.
it's popular and it's good, and I hope you'll keep the same level and quality of food, which is important. And I guess the other comment is I'm not familiar of too many food trucks going back and setting up a regular restaurant. So congratulations on that.
Well,
I think
thank
that's
you.
terrific.
Thank you.
My question was just get clarity on from the location from which the liquor would be distributed or sold.
Would be inside the space. Which would-
Inside the space, not inside the truck.
Not inside the truck, right.
Okay, that's
We hope to
important.
have the bar, like a normal bar. At Helen's Garden, we did a wine bar. We won't exclusively do wine, but we would like to continue that because we had great success with that.
And the bar will only be inside. There'll be no bars outside
Right.
whatsoever at any time on the truck or on the
Right,
the
I-
field, but
I mean,
only
I-
inside, yeah.
I love the idea of a gypsy liquor truck, but we're not there yet.
We have one boat.
We'll do baby steps.
Yeah, right. We're just
And how many people will you be able to serve in the restaurant?
It's got to be under 95.
Right.
So once you hit 99 people, there's a sprinkler system requirement. So our sweet spot's about 94, 95 people.
And
Correct.
I had a question about the physical layout. It looks from the drawings like there's a bunch of swinging doors that go to the outside, if I'm understanding
Yes,
that
that's
correctly.
correct. There's
Um,
two
this-
sets of French doors that would go outside.
So those
Yes.
those arrows are
Yes.
the French doors.
Correct.
All right. And do you plan to have outdoor seating?
Not currently.
Not currently, but that's something I wouldn't mind applying for eventually.
But you haven't. So we're not going to
We're
consider
not going to
that
discuss
today.
that. Yeah, I think after
Okay.
the transform happens, it'd be easier to accommodate.
Okay.
Just speak one at a time, be a lot
Sorry.
easier for the record, thank you.
And you previously, looks like Mr. Looney was on a license previously.
Yes,
Can you
I
talk
was.
about that experience? Were there any violations, any
In
issues?
15 years, there were no violations whatsoever. We were a highly rated Zagat restaurant on O'Donnell Square. Again, for 15 years, we were nationally recognized in the New York Times, Washington Post, Food Network, Cooking Channel. We had roughly in 15 years about 120 employees. We put into the system about $7 million in taxes and fees into the city, state, and federal government. I believe we were very good representatives of Baltimore City.
Okay, thank you.
Was the competition too difficult in that area, or?
No, actually, that unfortunately, my partner at the time became very ill, and I was not able to carry on in the quality and manner that we wanted to.
Okay.
Okay, those are my questions.
I have a few questions. So I see that on your project budget summary, it seems like you meet the threshold for new license. I note that total project cost is $236,000.
Yes.
Above
Yes, sir.
that, with building renovations, equipment, those kinds of things. Any of that attributable to the food truck?
A portion would be attributed to the upgrades of the truck and also to the upgrades of the commissary. because there was an existing kitchen.
So the kitchen is in the building.
Exactly, there's a kitchen in the building, and there's a food truck.
So I guess one of the questions I have then is, so let me back up. I think this is an innovative idea. I think it's very interesting. Huge fan of Helen's Garden. I would go there almost
Thank
every
you.
Sunday.
Thank you.
So I'm a fan. I'm just trying to understand a couple things. One is ensuring that the investment you're making is, I assume, towards the building and not the truck, meets the
Correct.
threshold, right?
Yes, that's
Because
correct.
that's, to me, what I think we need under the statute. So, okay, so explain, okay, so building renovations, bar, kitchen. So I think I just need a little bit more clarity on the numbers, because I think the threshold is $200,000.
Yes, if you look through the following page, is actually a breakdown of the next page will start the breakdown of the renovations. Yeah, it starts there. Yeah, that was just a summary.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the summary.
Yeah, that's okay. No worries.
All right. Okay, so I'll go through that. Let me ask another few questions. I understand this is in an industrial area of some sort, so parking is not an issue.
That's correct. In fact, in the yard itself, there's approximately 17 spaces available for parking. And then we have that entire Clipper Mill Road, basically, that there is tons of parking on. And then directly across the street from that is a quasi parking lot that nobody knows who owns.
But you have the rights for the landlord to have the
Sure.
truck, hold on one second, Mr. Bauer, to have the truck directly outside of the restaurant.
Yes, we do. Is that
That's
correct?
not issue, okay.
And if you turn to the last page, the landlord wrote a letter saying that there's 17 spots for this property.
I usually read the material, but I just got this, so in fairness.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's my fault.
No, it's fine. And then what happens in the event that the kitchen, something happens with the kitchen and the truck? You will, I guess, use the backup kitchen?
Well, it would be like any kitchen of any facility. Yeah, we would use the backup, and certainly something could go wrong, which we would have immediately repaired because that's our generator for income.
And the health department has reviewed or will review
Yeah,
all that?
we are fully licensed as a high-risk category kitchen.
And do you currently operate any food trucks that are mobile?
Yes, we do
Okay.
have another mobile truck as well, which we will keep mobile and service downtown like we do
I
now.
have no more questions, thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, thank you. On the basis of the evidence contained in the application, the materials that have been submitted this morning and which will be received in evidence, the proffers that were made, and the testimony of the individuals involved, I would congratulate you on the venture and vote to approve the application.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
I also vote to, you need a,
You need everybody.
you don't need everybody, but you
Sorry.
need at least two. So let me just say, I support this.
Thank
as
you.
well.
I do as well, good luck.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very
We
much.
really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Exhibits need to come in the record, please.
Yes, Mr. Bauer.
Do I give that to you?
I have one exhibit for the record, applicant exhibit 1, business plan, thank you.
Hellman Karzai Kababi Inc., trading as Hellman Kababi, 855 North Wolf Street, Suite D and E, Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license, an application for a new Class B, beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license requiring $200,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities, and the seating capacity for 75 people. Please come forward.
Would you raise your right hand, sir?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And would you identify yourself, please?
My name is Helman Karzai.
Okay. So it's for you the restaurant is named?
Correct.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I've eaten there many times. I never knew that.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I think he's got a famous uncle.
I do have some additional information on various financial records.
Okay.
I have 3 copies.
Thank you.
This is for me. Thank you.
Do you want to
welcome.
run us through this a bit?
Yes. We are a new restaurant. We are actually already open. We opened on January 15th over in the new Science and Technology Park at Johns Hopkins Hospital on Wolf Street. It is essentially a casual version of the Helmand that is on Charles Street, serving similar food in the same vein. And we would like to add a restaurant liquor license.
Okay, and do these documents contain the investment information?
Yes.
Okay. And how, you say you're open, how long has it been that you've been dealing with reconstruction and all that sort of thing?
For construction, it was approximately 2 years.
Okay.
Maybe 18 months since we actually broke ground, but we've been dealing with it for about 2 years.
How many people are employed here?
Approximately 25 total
Okay.
right now. We're only open for lunch right now. After we do get the, hopefully, if we do receive the license, we'd like to push that into early evening and dinner.
And you're located by Hopkins Hospital, is that where you're
Correct,
By the
yes.
medical institutions? Okay.
Yes.
And you have a total here of about $500,000 in investment, is that correct?
There's a little bit more on the next page, but as far as the initial contractor, yes, correct.
Okay, I see that, another 190, okay. And you're going to be serving beer, wine, and liquor?
Correct.
Okay, similar to what's at the restaurant?
Correct, correct.
And we also have before us individuals who've signed, and their views, and not those of the university.
No.
And I guess these are supporters, is that correct?
Correct, and there are some, in the back of that packet as well, some letters of support from various department heads at the hospital, and individuals in the area, and different members of the Historic East Baltimore Association as well.
Have you, in candor, gotten any opposition or pushback?
No, none.
Okay, all of these materials will be received in evidence. The commissioners have questions? Would you like to see this?
I think I have that.
Okay.
So, I guess this is the day I just disclosed I eat all over the city, but this is, the current Helmand is our favorite restaurant. It's where we go for anything fun and important in
Thank
my
you.
family. But you're currently on the license at the Helmand North Charles Street.
Correct.
And you stated in your application that it's your intention to come off that license if we approve your application today.
Correct.
So if you come off that license, do you have a plan to replace yourself on that license?
Yes.
And there will be a separate application
Yes.
to affect that change?
Correct.
Okay. In the time that you've been on the license at the Helmand, have there been any issues?
None, 0 violations.
No violations at all?
0.
I expected to see Assad here today. He's not here.
He's actually working.
He's working. Okay, good. I did have a question. The application said that you plan to open September 2016, around August 2016 or September 2016. That was at the time you applied.
Right. We actually didn't open until January.
All right, and what was the issue with the delay in opening? Or
Construction.
Just construction delays? Okay. All right, those are all the questions I have.
Commissioner?
No, I think Commissioner Moore hit it.
Okay. Is there anything further you wanted to add, sir?
No, thank you.
Okay. Well, on the basis of the materials contained in your application, your testimony this morning, and the materials that have been submitted and will be received in evidence, I would vote to approve the application.
I would vote to approve as well.
I concur, and thank you for investing in this part of the city, because it's needed, and I know it's been a
These
big
doctors
project.
need to get a
Yeah,
good meal once in a
they
while.
do.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President. I call exhibits for the record. Applicant Exhibit 1, business plan. Board Exhibit 1, 5 letters of support. Board Exhibit 2, petition of support. Thank you.
Good luck.
John Poss and Lori Devidal, 1715 Thames Street, licensee LLC, trading as Pendry Hotel, 1715 Thames Street. Class B HM Beer, Wine, and Liquor License, an application for a new Class B Hotel Beer, Wine, and Liquor License requiring at least 100 rooms and capital investment of $500,000. This request is for live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premise catering. Please come forward.
Council want to identify themselves, please?
Good morning. Caroline Hecker, Rosenberg, Martin Greenberg, on behalf of the applicant. I'm joined by my colleague, Justin Williams, as well.
And can I ask the other folks to raise their right hands, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Please step up, each of you, into the mic and identify yourself.
John Poss, Director of Finance.
Lori Davidow.
Jeremy Bratton, Director of Food and Beverage.
Jeremy, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is Bratton, B as in boy, R-A-T-T-O-N.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Ms. Hecker,
I'd like to proceed by way of a proffer with your permission, and certainly we're available to answer any questions.
you've been on our docket 7 times. I think we're somewhat familiar with the application, but
Can I read it, Mr. Chairman, by the way? I read it every time, and then it's postponed, and then I feel like I'm prepared, and it's reset.
but we've been anxiously awaiting your arrival.
Well, thank you. This is an application for a new Class B hotel license for the new Pendry Hotel at the Rec Pier in Fells Point. It has been a long time coming. The requirements for the license are that we have a dining room with seating for at least 125 individuals, that we have at least 100 rooms for accommodation of the public, and a capital investment of at least $500,000. As you know, this is an application for the Rec Pier that's being renovated into a brand-new hotel by Sagamore Development. We've included in the file that Mr. Williams has handed out some aerial images and some Google Earth Street View images of the existing condition, or I guess prior to renovation condition of the Rec Pier. It had been vacant since Homicide stopped filming there in the late 90s. But Sagamore is in the process of redeveloping it into a 128-room hotel that will operate as the Sagamore Pendry Baltimore. There are some renderings of the renovated hotel in the file as well. The application does include a request for live entertainment and outdoor seating, which was approved by the Zoning Board on February 1st, and a copy of the Zoning Board's decision is included in the file for your reference. The redevelopment project is a cost of over $60 million. It will have 128 rooms. It will include a ballroom that will seat up to 220 people or have about 400 people at a standing event. They'll also have a couple of private event spaces, a new restaurant with over 100 seats, a whiskey bar, an interior courtyard area, and an outside pool and bar area outdoors in the rear of the property on the water. The floor plans are included in the file as well for your reference. And we've also included an excerpt from the construction budget. As I said, the project itself was over $60 million in renovation. There was a $3.4 million acquisition cost for the property, but the excerpt that we've included shows that they're spending over $1 million in kitchen equipment alone. So this is really a very high-end project. There's an article from the BBJ in the file as well that talks about the high-end, ultra-luxury nature of the Pendry Hotel. It will be operated by Montage Hotels and Resorts, which is a very, very high-end hotel brand. They have properties in Hawaii and Beverly Hills. They've brought in a general manager who has over 20 years of experience in the luxury hotel world, who has previously managed the Montage Kapalua Bay Hotel in Hawaii. Mr. Bratton, who's the hotel's food and beverage director, has over 18 years experience in the hotel industry. Everyone who works there who has any contact with alcoholic beverages will be tip certified. They're very serious about that. Our individual licensee applicants are here today, Mr. Poss and Ms. Davidow. Mr. Poss is the Director of Finance, and he has over 10 years in the hotel industry as well. Ms. Davidow is a property manager with Sagamore Development. She's our Baltimore City licensee applicant. She's been a city resident for over 9 years.
Any relation to the lawyer, Bill?
Yes, my father-in-law.
Okay.
We know him well.
We know him well. Wish him well for us.
So,
Okay. We have reached out to both of the community associations in Fells Point. You should see in the file an email from the Fells Point Community Association, as well as a letter from the Fells Point Residents Association. They both support the issuance of the license. I would note that the Fells Point Residents Association had asked that a condition be included on the license that limited outdoor live entertainment in the pool area to cease at 9:00 p.m. Respectfully, we don't believe that that condition is necessary. This is an ultra high-end, super luxury hotel. There are going to be very expensive hotel rooms that are going to be facing the waterfront right above the pool area. And we can assure you that the comfort and convenience of those hotel guests will be at the foremost attention of the management of the hotel. They're not going to have any live entertainment that's outdoors on that pool deck after 9 o'clock that would in any way disturb the hotel guests who are located much more close to that area than any of the neighbors in the vicinity. So we think that that's a little bit self-policing. We're not going to be having wild and crazy parties out there that would disturb the hotel guests whose rooms are right above.
I don't know, that pool picture suggested to me that there could be a good time out there.
Oh, I have no doubt there will be good times out there, but.
Yeah, that was a little shocking. I had to
So who looked at
steady
this,
myself.
who looked at this property and saw the potential for this? I'm just curious.
I believe that would be Mr. Plank in Sagamore decided to make a run at this.
Because it's kind of an unusual
It is.
property, wouldn't you say?
It is, but it will provide, a unique addition to Fells Point. This, really cool building that's been in need of renovation, and a real high-end hotel. The only other hotel that's close by is the Admiral Fell across on Thames Street, and this is, really a very different market. With regard to the requirements for the license, we do have dining facilities to seat over 125 people. As I said, the ballroom itself seats 220. There are another 100 plus in the restaurant for the hotel. We have 128 hotel rooms, which exceeds the 100 hotel room requirement. And the capital investment in total is over $60 million, and with $1 million of that being spent on kitchen equipment alone. With regard to the other requirements, the public need and desire for the license, both of the Fells Point groups support the issuance of the license. We don't really expect there to be an impact on existing licensees in the vicinity. We think bringing hotel guests to Fells Point will be a benefit for other licensees in Fells Point. It does provide a unique hotel concept in this area. There's nothing like this nearby, and we don't expect that the hotel will have any type of negative impact on health, safety, or welfare. So for these reasons, we're happy to answer any questions, but we would request that the license be issued.
Do my colleagues have questions?
I guess just out of an abundance of, full disclosure, Mr. David Al was my law partner for a number of years, but that hasn't been the case for almost 10 years at least. And I have no knowledge of you personally at all, and certainly no bias in favor or against this application because of that former professional relationship. I guess my question was just more of just out of a curiosity. This is a substantial investment in this property and in this city, and I think, it's wonderful that it's being made here. And I also was curious as to the driver of why. Why Baltimore?
Well,
why not Baltimore? But I think it's a great statement in support of the city.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. I think this really will bring Baltimore into the world-class hotel market, and I think that's terrific.
Okay. The zoning board put some general restrictions on the outdoor table use when they granted the permission. I just wanted to make sure that you all acknowledge those restrictions and you'll abide by them.
Absolutely.
All right. And then the last thing, again, is another just comment. There are all sorts of ways that information is gathered these days, and Facebook is one of the ways that I get a lot of information. One of the things that I noticed on Facebook was that as you were developing this project, there seemed to be some sensitivity to the community and the neighbors that surrounded the hotel, and I just wanted to say thank you for what I consider to be kind and considerate development. We don't always see that, but that was done here, and you're to be commended for that.
Just a couple questions, if I could. I do note that you do have a request for live entertainment. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, I think it might take a variety of forms. They will have an event space. There could be, bands, or weddings, something like that inside. They may also have a small, perhaps jazz band quartet in the bar, restaurant area. They may have a DJ outside in the pool area during the daytime. They may have some, live music outside as well.
So for functions,
it could be
and
a
those kinds
variety of, yes.
Sure.
Mhm.
And not to pivot back to the pool, but can you talk to me a little bit about what controls you'll have in place to ensure that serving at the pool is
They plan to card, everyone who appears to be underage, or certainly close to that age. Like I said, everyone who will be in contact with alcoholic beverages in their operation will take the TIPS class. They are very serious about that.
Great. And then I just one last comment. Thank you, because this building I know has been dormant for several years, and Sagamore and Mr. Plank deserve a tremendous amount of credit for investing this, as well as the hotel Montage for investing and putting this on the tax rolls and bringing tourists and others here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Again, on the basis of the materials that are contained in the application, which, as I've said, we've had an opportunity to review on several occasions, the materials that have been provided to us this morning, which have been received in evidence, the proffer from counsel, and any testimony received this morning, I would vote to approve the application for the license and hope that this succeeds magnificently.
Thank you.
I concur.
I concur as well. Best of luck.
Thank you all.
Mr. Williams. Call the exhibits for the record. Applicant Exhibit 1, business plan. Board Exhibit 1, letter of support, Fells Point Resident Association. Board Exhibit 2, email dated January 27, 2017, support from Fells Point Community Organization. Thank you.
This is just maybe me being a little overly cautious, but with respect to the Helmond application, I just wanted to make it clear that it is, are we on the record? No. Oh.
What do I call this?
Footnote for the Helmond case. Just wanted to make it clear that that application comes to us not as a fast food restaurant, but as a fast casual restaurant. Fast food restaurants are not eligible to get liquor licenses. Fast casual are. There's precedent for that. We've done that at least once when I was on the board previously. So I just wanted to make it clear. I should have asked questions to make that clear on the record when they were here. They're gone now, so I just wanted to add that as a footnote.
Thank you.
Estefethos Doses Kira Inc., trading as Jimmy's, 801 South Broadway. This is a Class D beer and wine license, an application to transfer ownership and requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages. Please come forward.
Good morning. Anastasia Thomas Nardangeli on behalf of the applicant. I'm here with the individual applicant, Efstathios Dosis, also known as Steve. And I'm here with one of the owners and the manager of the restaurant, Rustem Keskin.
May I ask you gentlemen to raise your right hands, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
I need the second gentleman's full spelling.
Can you step up, sir, and spell your name, or can you spell it for us?
Rustem Keskin, R-U-S-T-E-M, first name. Last name is K-E-S-K-I-N.
Who's who here? You, Estatios?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sorry. Just spell your name again. I was
Me?
waiting for
Okay.
him. I thought you were-
R-U-S-T-E-M, last name is K-E-S-K-I-N.
And he goes by Rudy, in case you all need to address him. I'd like to begin by way of a proffer. Applicant proffers that there is a public need and desire for the transfer to take place.
Can I stop you for 1 second? I just
sure.
noticed. Kuru Inc. and Jimmy showed up on my conflict sheet. Do you know whether they've ever been represented by White for Taylor Preston?
That's for you to answer. Have you ever had White for Taylor Preston represent you? That's a
Law firm?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
It may be because this transfer is a result of an asset purchase agreement, and Kuru purchased the assets of the former owner of the liquor license and the restaurant
May have been involved
Jimmy's.
in that transaction. I don't know. Okay.
Well, they could have represented Jimmy's back when it was owned by 801 South Broadway Corporation, which is the transferor in this situation. So
Thank you for clarifying.
no problem. So I was proffering on behalf of the applicant that there is a public need and desire for this to take place. Jimmy's it's been around for decades. It's a business that is well known. It's respected. I'm sure that we all have spent many years going there for meals, and it's right in the center of Fells Point. The board should have received a letter of support from the Fells Point Residents Association. I was told that came in today.
Actually, they sent an email.
Okay, an email of support. In addition, I asked the board's permission to submit a petition that was just given to me by Rudy, showing that he was able to procure 19 signatures in support of the proposed transfer
Isn't this
from,
the place where all the politicians hang out?
that's what I'm told.
Did any of them sign up?
I didn't ask them.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I'd also like the board's permission to submit as a second exhibit the menu, just so you all have a copy of it. It hasn't changed since the ownership changed, is that correct?
No change, not many change.
So it's the same restaurant.
Now, my papers here say this is an application to transfer ownership and requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages. Can you clarify that for me?
We requested to be able to deliver food and alcoholic beverages just as part of an upgrade on the license.
Deliver them where?
For carryout, did we ask them?
No, for the dining, carry out.
Okay, I guess we aren't asking. I mean, Rudy, did we intend to ask for carryout?
Oh yeah, we get delivery might be, but I don't know. Is required for carry out? We get a carry out, but I don't think they're gonna.
And delivery of alcoholic beverages with the food?
I mean, impossible. I mean, if you can, I mean, if I can, I mean, why not? I mean, if
Can we get some clarification on what the application is?
Well, let me see.
Let me just ask our staff
Okay.
for a second. Tom, can you step up and get sworn in?
Pardon me.
Go ahead, sir, please.
Pardon me.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. My name is Thomas Akras. I'm A-K-R-A-S, and I'm the Deputy Executive Secretary for the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City. This application is a transfer of ownership and a request for delivery service, and delivery service is exactly what it says means. It's if somebody orders off-site, food, they can actually, if they apply with the Board of Liquor License Commissioners, they can provide delivery service for specific alcoholic beverages. We have delivery food forms that the licensee is supposed to provide to the customer to fill out to ensure that the individual that receives the alcoholic beverages is over the age of 21. Believe the application is online, and I think as part of this application, Ms. Russell, you can correct me if I'm wrong, there was a delivery form request filled out.
Okay, so if I call Jimmy's and ask for one of his triple-decker club sandwiches to be delivered, I can ask for a six-pack of Bud to come with it?
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay.
If approved by this board.
Okay, I just wanted to understand. I'm not sure we'd seen that before, that's, so.
Usually what happens is most licensees will, the license will be transferred to them, and then later on, after they've been approved, they'll make application. Some licensees do all in one, and in this case, that's what they did here.
Okay, did you have any questions for him?
No, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Yeah, I apologize. There were a lot of changes with regard to this license, but ultimately, yes, we did decide to request that we had the ability to do that. So.
And so the ownership of the restaurant has not changed, right? Or has it?
It has.
It has, okay.
Yes.
Okay, and did the prior owners, licensees, did they run into difficulties with the board?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, commissioners, you have questions?
I just wanted to get clarity on who the applicants are. Are both gentlemen currently applicants on this license?
I'm sorry. Steve is the only individual applicant on the license. Rudy is not an applicant, but he is the manager of the restaurant, so he's running the restaurant on a day-to-day basis.
And what about the ownership breakdown? According to my notes, Steve is 1% owner and Rudy is 99%. Is that still the case?
That's correct.
And the only licensee is Steve?
That's correct.
Is the 1% owner?
That's correct.
And why did Rudy come off as an applicant? I'm confused.
No, I apologize for that as well. So Rudy already owns or is already named as an individual on a liquor license in Howard County. Rudy owns another restaurant that is in Howard County.
And is that going to continue? Will he continue as a owner of a restaurant in Howard County?
Yeah, I'll let Rudy respond to your question.
Okay, I mean, other my restaurant is actually my wife running right now in Rudy's Mantua, Howard County. So I'm on the full the license over there on my name. So actually, I'm working full time at Jimmy's right now, 5 a.m. until close. So I took another class for here for server management for regular stuff. So I'm ready full time to work here.
Okay.
But I'm nothing to do anything more. My other restaurant is under my license, my name, but it's my wife running over there, and she's able to further serve the liquor to full time manager.
What's the name of the restaurant?
Rudy's Mantua and Grill.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to be full time at Jimmy's?
Yes, ma'am.
And your wife is going to run Rudy's?
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
Okay. Okay. And Rudy's, no problems with the license, no violations?
No issue.
No issues.
No
okay.
issues, ma'am.
All right.
We full liquor license at the Rudy's Mantua and Grill. No issues.
So did that used to be Rudy's 500 or?
No, Rudy's Mantua and Grill.
Oh, Rudy's
It's on the
Mediterranean
Columbia
Grill.
Gateway Drive. Mediterranean Grill. Turkish cuisine.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I have some questions. It could be my own confusion, so I apologize in advance. The current owner of Jimmy's is Steve.
Rudy and Steve both own the entity that owns Jimmy's right now.
And that entity is Kuru Inc.
Correct.
Now, you're seeking to transfer ownership, which I understand. The transfer of that ownership, based on my notes and what we have here, is Steve then has 1% going forward. And I'm trying to understand, I understand Rudy personally doesn't have ownership, if I'm following correctly, because of the other liquor license.
Well, he owns the entity.
So that's where I was going. So what's the name of the entity that that will have 99% of the liquor license?
No. Kuru, he owns 99% of Kuru, which will own the liquor license. Kuru bought the liquor license from 801 South Broadway Corporation, which is owned by third parties that aren't even here. Steve and Rudy are coming in as co-owners of the new entity that bought Jimmy's.
So Kuru then is the applicant here.
Correct.
That'll own 100%.
Correct.
Kuru is split up, though, obviously, between Steve.
Correct.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Anything else? Okay. On the basis then of the evidence contained in the application, testimony we received this morning, the support noted from the Fells Point Residents Association, and the materials that you have submitted, which have been received in evidence, I would vote to approve the application.
I agree.
I agree, too, and on behalf of the politicians, thank you for keeping
No problem.
live.
Wait 3
It's an
weeks, it's going to be
institution.
much better.
They still have the governor's table, so.
I'm going to be calling in for my sandwiches. Thank you.
Thank you.
Not six-pack.
So she needs the email and the petitions.
Yes, there is.
They're all yours.
Thank you.
All yours.
Yes, give me 1 second. I'd like to call exhibits for the record. Applicant Exhibit 1, petition of support. Applicant Exhibit 2, menu. Board Exhibit 1, email of support dated March 2nd, 2017, Fells Point Neighborhood Association. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Johannes Hale, Eden Solomon, and Aaron Nagazi, 7-Day Store LLC, trading as 7-Day Store, 3939 Edmondson Avenue. This is a Class A beer and wine license, and application to transfer ownership. Please come forward.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Peter Previs on behalf of the applicants.
Good morning. Can I ask your clients to raise their right hands, please?
You swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Agree.
Okay, and can they each step up and tell us their names into the microphone?
My name is Johannes Heile.
Eden Solomon.
All right, and I don't know your spelling, so spell yours.
Aaron Nagasi.
Spell it.
First name is Aron. Last Nagasi is Negasi.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, if I can proceed by way of you have Ms. Solomon's name, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's fine. If I may proceed by way of a proffer.
You may.
This is a proposed purchase of the current grocery store that has a 6-day Class A beer wine only liquor license, or license, alcoholic beverage license, known as Your New Food Market. The ownership of the proposed application is Mr. Hiley is 49.5%, Ms. Solomon is 49.5%, and Mr. Nagasi is 1% as the Baltimore City resident owner. Mr. Nagasi intends, or Mr. Haley, I mean, intends to be the full-time operator. You'll see in the application that he currently lives in Alexandria, Virginia. He intends to move very close to the store because he plans on working there all the time. So assuming that this transaction goes through, he will be moving to Baltimore City, and Mr. Nagasi will at some point no longer be necessary. The existing business is basically a grocery store that has some beer, wine. The current operation, as we understand it, is approximately 70% grocery and 30% alcoholic beverage. He plans to do a lot of cleaning up and a lot of renovation to get the business back up to snuff.
Is it in operation now?
It was recently closed for health department reasons, and the seller has. We have an agreement that we will come in and do the cleaning up. So it appears there's no intention to open until we do the cleaning up. And Mr. Haley will be personally involved in that.
Did the previous owner have difficulties with the liquor board?
Not that I'm aware of, but I don't recall off the top of my head if there were any violations on the listing.
I remember seeing.
There's one.
One? From what year?
I think it was 2007.
Oh, so it's been a while.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Is it a cadet violation if I? Okay.
Okay, so there was one back 10 years ago.
Okay.
Well, 9 years ago. Okay.
And Mr. Hiley has experience. He currently works in a grocery liquor operation and has done so for 7 years. So he fully understands his obligations to run
And he's going to have the alcohol awareness
yes,
certificate?
he will.
Is anyone else going to work there besides him?
At this point in time, it's a one-person operation, and he plans to be there, and Ms. Solomon may fill in when necessary. He plans to build the business and to hire another person, but the current way that the current owner has it operating, it's just a one-person operation. Like I said, he needs to do some cleaning up to this business and hopes to build up the business a little. It would require another person. The final thing is, you'll see that the purchase price on this business is fairly low. Not only is it a beer wine license, but it is also in an R6 district, which means that under Reform Baltimore, they may need to relocate the license. Mr. Hiley has determined that the business will be able to thrive without alcohol at that location, so he plans to leave it as a grocery market if nothing else changes and he's required to take the liquor license out. Yes, ma'am.
I'm just breathing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought there was a question. So he has made that determination that based on the purchase price, he can successfully operate even if he's required to lose the liquor license later on.
Okay, commissioners?
I guess that was my question, and that maybe is why I did the heavy sigh. Because it's in the R6 district, you are aware, he clearly is aware, that this license could evaporate. And he's buying a license that could be gone soon.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I need someone to say yes, that they're aware of that.
You understand?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess that's reflected in the price.
Yes. Yeah, the price is $47.5 or $49.5, and he understands that. And if there's an opportunity to relocate, then he will pursue that. I've explained to him that it's in the 41st district, and it could be moved to the 41st district in a commercial zone. And we've had full discussions with regard to
Okay.
the potential opportunities
Okay,
there.
that to me is the most, maybe the second most important aspect of this application is just the awareness of the risks that are attendant to this application. And they've hired good counsel, and you've explained everything. And so when the time comes, if in fact this license expires or is no longer allowed to exist, we're not going to have any issues of lack of knowledge.
Right.
Okay. The other issue is management, day-to-day management. Currently, we have 3 applicants, 2 of whom are the majority owners that don't live in Baltimore. I understand that there's a plan, but I'd like to hear exactly how this is going to be operated on a day-to-day basis.
Mr. Howley, come up close to the mic. Okay. You're going to run this operation full-time?
Yeah, full-time I work.
And you're going to move close to the store?
Yeah, yes,
Have you
sure.
looked for apartments?
Yeah, sure. I
You-
change yeah.
Okay. Do you know where you're going to move to yet?
Yes, I move, yeah.
Okay.
Have you signed a lease, I suppose is the question?
Yeah, I change.
Explain.
Okay, I changed my move here. I come in here, Baltimore, already.
But have you got a lease on a place yet or anything, or?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Where will
A
that be?
residence, not this place?
No residence.
No
Not yet.
residence yet?
Okay. I'm sorry, I just want to make sure he understands your question.
Okay, I may not have been clear as well.
Yeah, and I don't understand the answer. So you said a number of times that the place needs to be cleaned up. There's changes that need to be made. Are there any renovations that are being planned for this location? Any structural changes?
No, just there's a checklist of cleaning and fixing some equipment that's going to exceed $5,000.
And is there a familial or family relationship between any of the applicants?
Are you related by blood or just you're all from Eritrea?
Yeah, I'm from
Right.
Eritrea.
They're from same country.
Same country, but not a family relationship. Because I just have to make another observation. Eden, you just turned 24. And have you ever been on a liquor license before?
No, I haven't.
And are you aware of all the responsibilities that are part of owning a liquor license?
Yeah, part of it. And
Part
I'm
of
willing
it.
to learn, yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I'm learning about it now.
You're going to take the alcohol awareness class.
Yes.
And you understand you don't sell to minors.
Yeah.
And you
yes.
don't stay open past when you can be open.
Mhm.
And you don't let bad things happen in your business, right?
No, of course not.
Okay.
Okay.
And you work at a preschool,
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
a preschool teacher right now.
and you're going to continue to work there in the daytime?
Yes.
Okay. And you'll help out Mr. Hiley otherwise?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
I don't really, I think Commissioner Moore asked all the questions I had. Thank you.
Okay. So it's a risk, but I guess he's willing to take it, and on the basis of the materials contained in the application and the testimony from the individuals as well as your proffer, I would vote to approve the application.
I would as well.
I concur.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
No exhibits for the record. Thank you.
Stephen Stansberry III, The One Sports Bar and Lounge LLC, trade name pending, 4314-16 Curtis Avenue. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license, an application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment. Please come forward.
Good afternoon, I think it is.
Yes. Good afternoon,
Good
Mr.
afternoon.
Vogelman.
Nice to see you.
Before your, well, let's swear him in. Okay, let's raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And your name, sir?
Stephen William Stansbury.
Mr. Stansbury, have you ever been represented by Whiteford Taylor Preston in any capacity?
No.
Okay, the name showed up on my conflict sheet. I had to ask. All right, Mr. Fogelman.
Thank you. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Stansberry. Mr. Stansberry is a first-timer getting into the bar business. He is a customer of this current location. He's always wanted to own a sports bar. He's very involved in athletics. And Mr. Stansberry understood that the Taste International bar and restaurant was for sale in Curtis Bay. So he has purchased or indicated his intent, signed a contract to purchase the business. I have a menu I want to distribute and give one to the file.
You may.
Curtis, that's a beautiful brooch. It's really shiny.
Do you like my tie, Mr. Fogelman? It's like Mayor D'Alessandro's, I just noticed. If you look at the picture right up there, it's
Rating
It's
his
like you
closet.
borrowed it
Thank
from
you.
him.
It all comes back again.
Yes.
So, all right, Mr. Stansberry is ahead of the game for some of my clients. He's already been alcohol management certified, and I just want to once again give that to the board.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now, did you say that this is his first venture into this
This is.
world? Okay. and
This is.
What's he been doing for a living?
He has been a surety bondsman for the past 17 years. He has no criminal record whatsoever, and he is he knows. He understands security. He understands the need for security in an establishment. There is a live entertainment that's been ongoing at this establishment. He'd like to continue that. However, he'd like to direct the focus more towards Ravens and Orioles games. I have photos. He handed me these, and I'm sorry I don't have a copy. So if y'all would like to look at what he's done already, he's put thousands into the property, just fixing up the flooring. He intends to repair the exterior facade as well in his preparations to open the establishment. I just received today the letter that was in the file. I probably should do a better job of checking the files the week before the hearing. But I see that a letter came in that's signed by the victimized residents of Curtis Bay.
Give us their names.
Right, and the envelope, which you have, I don't have a copy of it, says a committee or victim, Curtis Bay Victims of Neglect. I did just do a corporate charter search on that to see if there's an actual organization with that name. I did not find that. But I read the letter, and quite frankly, I sympathize with the letter. The letter deals with, in my opinion, a lot of generalities about the conditions in Curtis Bay and not directly reflecting on the establishment, and certainly not reflecting on my client.
Have any of these individuals approached you or him?
No, I've received no correspondence whatsoever other than being this morning.
And this bar and lounge was in operation?
Yes.
And is it singled out in this letter for? Well, it says here it was opened previously by several owners. Has it changed hands a lot?
It has changed hands a few times. I remember this address when I was on the board changing hands at least 2 or 3 times. The letter talks about the photo on the left is just a sample of what residents woke up to every day when the other clubs were open. I'm not sure. And then there appears to be a photo of a lot of trash. I mean, if nothing else, this letter is good for my client. It's instructive to my client to understand, and I believe he does, that it is his obligation to be a good neighbor, and that includes making sure that the area surrounding the bar is free of litter, certainly litter that comes from his establishment. So
it's difficult to determine what weight to give this because there's no one identified as signing it, and the organization apparently doesn't show up anywhere, and
I
there's
must
no one here to represent them.
Right. I mean, in fairness, I got to say, perhaps Curtis Bay is a victim of the city. Perhaps they are neglected. I mean, I coached a kids soccer team down there this winter, and you go a few blocks from the pavilion, and it's a ghost town. There's not a lot of investment there, so I sympathize.
How was your season, by the way?
We had a great season. We were the league champions, 8-9, winter indoor soccer. Thank you for asking, sir. So I sympathize with it. It is a neighborhood that's been left behind in development, but unfortunately, I don't think the letter is highly relevant to probing the applicant here.
Well, Mr. Stansberry, are you open to meeting with members of the community if they have problems with your establishment?
Yes, I'm open to sit down.
Is there a community organization?
For years, there was, we knew who to call down there, and that couple moved away. There is Miss Pat, I believe, but it's difficult. And let me just say, I did put the address into the city website regarding community associations, and there was nothing that popped up.
Okay. Commissioners, you have questions?
I guess I just wanted to say, I mean, the letter does come in, it's anonymous, the envelope that it came in doesn't give us a lot of guidance. But the allegations are very, very concerning. The photographs of trash on the stoop, which I guess is meant to suggest that patrons of the former bars or clubs left things there. There's photos of a person who I guess was assaulted or beat up. And all of this is linked to the former establishments. It's real hard for us to sort of vet the allegations and really discern what they're all about. But I did note that when I was on this board previously, there were violations that came before the board, and we voted to close the prior establishment for almost 3 weeks. It was 21 days. I don't recall exactly the amount. So something was happening there. Something was happening at this location. If there were actually a name or an association, I would suggest that we defer a decision until such time as there's been discussion with the community, whoever's head of the community association or whoever wrote this letter. But the letter it's worse than anonymous.
And I'm sorry, I should have printed this out for you, but I've just now realized that over a month ago, and I'm pretty sure I CC'd you, I did reach out. There was a name of someone, and I did send an email, and I'll be happy to forward that email to the board, just so you know that there was a reach out. And I might be able to find it for you, but I'm not even sure it was the right person, but that's what the city website said. And
Commissioner, if I may, I would encourage him to reach out to perhaps the Curtis Bay Brooklyn Park Association, which is probably the closest to the establishment.
And it's possible that I already have, and I'm sorry that this is just now coming to me.
But Mr. Stansbury, and I don't mean to cut off my fellow commissioner, it's really important that you follow up with this, because otherwise, if the feelings are that strong in this community, you're going to run into problems and be back here. And if you really want to prevent that and approach this from a more positive perspective than the previous owners, I suggest that you get together with these people and tell them what you're going to do that's going to be different, and see if you can win them over.
Yes.
Right, and one of the things that happens that changes those feelings of abandonment of a place is when there's investment, and you're making an investment in Curtis Bay, not just yourself and your business, but in Curtis Bay. So maybe what you're doing will turn the tide. But these allegations are so serious, and they're so concerning. But they're anonymous, and it makes it hard. So yeah, I mean, you've got to follow up.
Okay,
and if you're making the commitment to do so, that's helpful.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of questions. Following up on what the chairman and Commissioner Moore said, you know, we've had cases similar to this where actually the community has shown up, and we're able to kind of broker something. I actually think the current owner can sell to whomever they want. You happen to be the person, and so I think the community sometimes loses sight of that. I mean, the license is there; they have the right to sell it. The question is, I think, as Commissioner Moore said, is what you're willing to do to address these concerns. And so if you could speak to, you know, again, not having a community representative here, can you speak to what you might have in place given these concerns with respect to security, parking, if there are issues working with the city agencies? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes, I will just let them know that I will assure them that I will have someone out cleaning up. I mean, hour after hour, when my business is open, I will have security staff combing the whole area, no standing around, no double parking. If you're not coming in, then you have to leave the area. If not, then.
So will you have security on a regular basis around the clock or when you're open?
Oh, when I'm open, yes.
You will, okay. And how many individuals do you anticipate working there on a regular basis?
Maybe by 4 security officers.
And right now, it's not currently
not
open?
No.
So it is in many ways just kind of there and probably not creating any activity, which may be a problem or could be a good thing. Now, I do know that in our inspection report, It does note that the establishment has been closed and not operating, but a hardship was filed and approved by this board. So I think we're well within the time frame, right, to approve this.
Thank you. Just want to make a quick point. He's indicated 4 security staff. 4 security staff will be there. There's a capacity of approximately 200 at this place. There is no recommended number of security per customers in Baltimore. However, the New York Police Department recommends for nightclubs 1 security guard per 75 patrons. The San Francisco Police Department recommends 1 per 100 and a supervisor for every 500 patrons. So it's about 1 for 90 if you average
They've never
it
been in
together.
Curtis Bay.
No, they haven't. So he'll have his work to do in order to be a good neighbor and hopefully earn their respect.
Yes.
So I just, maybe we've already talked about this and I missed it, but tell us a little bit about you, your experience in the liquor business, in the bar business. Stephen Stansberry, you're the applicant, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit why you're doing this, what your experience is.
It's been something I wanted to do for a while now. Just open up my own bar, sports bar. I'm a sportsman. I love sports, and I like going to places where I'm comfortable and having eating finger food, having a beer or two. So I just decided, like, okay, this is something I want to do. Here's the opportunity to do it, so I'm gonna take a chance for us.
And at the beginning, Mr. Fogelman described you as a former patron.
Yes.
So
I've been there maybe 3 times. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been there when there were?
Yes, I've been there, and each time it was a party. Yes, it was someone having a invited party. So I was invited, so I went down. Yes.
Okay, and so you're aware of how this location can impact the surrounding community?
Oh yes, very aware.
Like you got firsthand experience.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and you're going to take the alcohol awareness class?
I already did.
Or did you?
Yes.
Oh, you already did that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. That's it.
One last thing. So I get the sense that you really do recognize that you have a tough balance here, right? Because this is an existing establishment that appears to have had a lot of problems, and your investment could be a really phenomenal thing, or it could remain the same or get worse.
Right.
I'm hopeful that you hear us loud and clear, and your council loud and clear, that it's absolutely critical that one of the first things you do is engage the community.
Yes.
And
That's the
invite
first
them in for a not a drink, but invite them in for a discussion.
That's my plan.
And you can be a real leader there to help address a lot of the concerns raised.
You're going to have to listen to a lot of complaints before you ever get to say anything, you know?
Yeah, that's my plan, to get them in and let them know I want change in their community.
They've had a bad experience in the past.
Give me that chance.
And just from my perspective, any meetings you have, anything you have, certainly let the staff know, because I think that's good information, and I'd like to see it personally. So thank you. I have nothing further.
Excuse me, Board.
You need to be sworn in, sir.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
Raise your hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You have to speak into the microphone and tell us your name, sir.
My name is Tony Swinney, and I'm an associate of Mr. Stanberry,
Well, how do you spell your last name?
Swinney.
Okay.
I've got a lot of experience. I was been in this business for a long time. I operate 5 Mile House as a general manager now up on Ricestown Road. I was director of operations for McDonald's in all the Baltimore region for 34 years. Public relations, community meetings, getting the public support, doing community organizations, things like that was my specialty, and we believe in partnership. So those things, I will be working with him closely in the initial stages of the business to get out in that community, because I visited the community. I looked at the plants over across the street, the bus depot, and the residents, and just got to get out there and communicate with them and get on the same page. And I will be assisting him 100%. So, and I have the experience and the know-how.
This was going so well till you mentioned the 5 Mile House. That changes everything.
Well, I just got back there about 4 months ago. We're doing a lot of good things there and getting things right.
I'm familiar with the 5 Mile House, and if you're willing to put your expertise and experience to this project, I think you've got a good partner in that. So.
Absolutely.
Anything further? Okay, on the basis of the evidence contained in the application, the materials that have been submitted today, including the opposition from the anonymous source, and the proffers from counsel and testimony, I would vote to approve the application.
I would vote to approve, and I was joking about 5 Mile House. I think that level of experience and knowledge is invaluable for someone who's never done this before. It's one thing to be a consumer; it's a whole other thing to be an owner, an operator, and you've got a wise advisor on your team. So I approve.
I approve as well. Best of luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
So who do you like in the March Madness?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When it starts soon.
Went 14.
Who do you like?
Who do you like?
Well, hold on, Bryce. This is important.
This,
We got a Villanova grad here. And Maryland grad.
Maryland's gonna wake up again.
Commissioner.
exhibits.
Mr. Fogelman.
Thank you.
I'd like to call the exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, letter of opposition
Butler.
from victimized residents of Curtis Bay. Applicant Exhibit 1, menu. Applicant Exhibit 2, alcohol awareness certification. Thank you.
For the record, he's advising Butler.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, they're good, but they're going down.
No, they're really good. They're historically good. Like,
We're going to recess until, can we do 1:30 today?
Yes.
We'll see why we can't.
Okay.
The board is in recess until 1:30 p.m.
may I give these to you?
Stacy, does she want these originals?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Sorry about that.
okay.
Got all this extra stuff here now.
Lots of books.
I know, it's taking all my room. I'm trying to be compact.
It's just distracting. It's like there's something out of my eye.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're starting the PM docket, Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City. Proceedings will begin. If you're in possession of any type of electronic device, please place said device on off or quiet mode during proceedings. A preliminary matter, Mr. Chairman. Third on the PM docket, SCS Holdings LLC, trading as Social Pub and Pie, 25 East Cross Street. That matter has been postponed. Call the case of Elise Singer, ERS Inc., trading as Steampunk Alley, AKA Leon's, 870 Park Avenue. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Here for violation of Rule 4.16, illegal conduct on November the 18th, 2016, and violation of Rule 4.16, illegal conduct, January the 18th, 2017. Please come forward.
Mr. Fogelman?
Yes, good afternoon. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of licensee and Mr. Singer. This will be an admission.
Can the gentlemen each raise their right hand, sir?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Before we begin, was ERS Inc., is that how you pronounce it, or ERS Inc.? Have they ever been represented by Whiteford, Taylor, Preston?
No, they have not.
Okay, showed up on my conflict sheet. Okay, it's an admission,
Yes.
and you want to explain what went on?
Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Singer are going through a divorce. Mr. Singer and Mrs. Singer are both license holders in the city of Baltimore. There was a situation with the manager not communicating with either of the Singers regarding this gentleman's visits to the establishment. I believe also Chief Inspector Fosler visited the establishment to say, you have 7 days, a few days to get this fixed, or we're going to violate you. That message, unfortunately, never got to the Singers. Mr. Singer has since fired that manager of 8 years for failing to communicate. In fact, he found Chief Inspector Fosler's card on the floor of the bar, which is why he then inquired, why is this here? So, again, obviously,
Have they gotten the new trader's license?
they do. I want to present that at this time. I think he faxed this ahead to Chief Fosler, but I want. No, I understand. This says Chief Fosler. I'll never forget your name.
Oh, gee.
For the record at this time.
You may.
Certificate of good standing and a trader's license for the current period.
So, Inspector Howard, when you were there, you didn't see Mr. Singer?
No, I didn't.
You just spoke to the manager?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Each time.
Okay. Commissioners have any questions?
Weren't you here recently for Stang of Siam? Was that, no?
No, he was here on a postponement
On a
request.
postponement?
He had like strep, or he was pretty sick, and then I got sick after that. So I don't know. No,
It was a
different
postponement
different
for
guys.
this same
Yeah, same
place.
applicant or same. Yeah, Mr.
Okay.
Singer was here.
All right. Are you on the license? Or?
He is not. He owns part of the corporation. Yeah, he's on behalf here of ERS Incorporated. His wife, he and his wife are separated. There's a pending divorce, and there will be some issues about renewal coming up, but we're hopeful that the divorce lawyers can figure that out. So again, Mr. Singer doesn't excuse the administration of the bar, of the manager not communicating. It's not an excuse. He understands that this needs to be done. And quite frankly, having known Agent Howard for years, Agent Howard is the kind of inspector who wants to cure a default. He doesn't want to play gotcha games with anybody. He just wants you to fix whatever is broken. And so I'm confident that if these two had ever talked, that it would have been fixed. And so it's on the Singers that the manager didn't obviously take Agent Howard or Chief Fosler's visit seriously enough, and for that we're very apologetic.
Okay, thank you.
So, just so I'm clear, so Mr. Singer is not on the license, but yet Mr. Singer is here, and I give him tremendous credit because your wife is not here, who is on the license. So thank you for being here and admitting the mistake, even though really, frankly.
I understand.
Thank you.
Can I get Mr. Singer's first name?
Ronald.
Anything else?
No, thank you very much.
Commissioners?
I have nothing further.
Okay. On the basis of the evidence contained in the record and the admission, I would find that the licensee is in violation of Rule 4.16, illegal conduct on November 18, 2016, for failure to have an active trader's license, and in violation of Rule 4.16, illegal conduct on January 18, 2017, when the entity was deemed to be forfeited by the State Department of Assessments and Taxation. I'd impose a fine of $500 and give them 30 days to pay it.
Thank you very much.
I agree.
I agree as well.
All right. Thank you.
I'd call exhibits for the record at this time. Applicant Exhibit 1, 2016 Trader's License. Applicant Exhibit 2, estate certificate. Board Exhibit 1, investigation report, Inspector John Howard. Exhibit 2, 311 call inspection. Exhibit 3, BLLC routine inspection report. Thank you.
Orville Miller, Unity Enterprises LLC, trading as The Bamboo, 229 North Franklintown Road. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 3.08A, sanitation and safety. October the 16th, 2016. Violation of Rule 4.16, illegal conduct, on October the 16th, 2016. Violation of Rule 4.16, illegal conduct, October the 16th, 2016. Violation of Rule 4.16, illegal conduct, October the 16th, 2016. Violation of Alcoholic Beverages Article 6-309, minor in possession, October the 16th, 2016. Violation of Alcoholic Beverages Article 6-309, minor in possession, on October the 16th, 2016. Violation of Alcoholic Beverages Article 6-309, minor in possession, October the 16th, 2016. All persons
Can I ask-
testifying, please come forward.
You gentlemen, raise your right hands, please.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Are you Mr. Miller, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you realize that you've been charged with 7 different violations of our rules?
Well, I was not aware until probably maybe about 15, 20 minutes ago.
Well-
The night of the incident, I spoke to the inspector there, and he told me they caught 2 people coming out of the venue with open container. But he also said they had them underneath the coat.
But
when they
weren't you posted with a notice of the violations?
No. I picked this up at the liquor board.
Do we have a posting?
Mr. Chairman, service to licensee, summons issued to licensee on 2/14/2017.
So we have evidence that you were served with notice of the
No, I was
violations.
not served. I was not aware of it.
Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
We were having a hard time serving the licensee. He's not open all the time, and we postponed the case. I then made contact with the licensee. He came to the liquor board office, and I served him in the office.
When was that?
On the
February
date
2nd?
Whatever that date is, sir.
February 16th?
Correct.
Okay. So about 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay, but you said 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I did not really
So
read
you
the
didn't
note.
bother to read it?
Well, I did read the...
Was it
the-
important to you?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Well, did it happen?
Did it happen?
Yes.
Well, they said it happened. I was there tonight. When I came out and spoke to them, they told me they found 2 people coming out of the establishment with container hid underneath the coat. And
Apparently
I-
3. Apparently 3.
Well, at the night they told me it was 2.
I never spoke to him, for the record.
So you talked to Inspector Chris Malos?
Yes, sir.
All right, so they told you that there were 2, and you are admitting that there were 2, or are you denying that there were 2?
Well, I'm not admitting. They said it was. I did not see it. They say it was.
All right, well, let me hear from them then.
On the night of question, I actually, I know there was a lot going on, and the club was very busy. However, Detective Greenhill is the one that spoke to you after all the violations. He came back in and spoke to you. I actually,
No, did not come back in. I came out. I was on the sidewalk, and you guys were out there by the car.
at that point, we had caught 2, and then we caught the 3rd.
Okay.
And then that's when Detective Greenhill came in and told you that we had found 3, 1 was a minor, and you were over
I
capacity.
was not aware until I came out. No one came in and told me.
That's correct. We didn't come in and tell you.
Yeah.
Till after the fact.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so the facts are that they were over capacity?
They were over capacity. Detective Greenhill asked for the clicker, which the security gave him, and it was determined that they were over capacity by 38 people. The 3 open containers, we violated them for each of the open containers, and one of the open containers was a minor. So then we also violated him for a minor in possession of alcohol.
Well, according to that each of these 3 was identified as being under the age of 21.
I have the dates here if you'd like me to read it from my report. The first individual, excuse me,
was a Richard Alexander, male, white, 5'3", 94.
I need you to introduce yourself.
Oh, Detective Abraham Gatto, Baltimore Police Department Vice Unit. Again, the first individual was a Richard Alexander, male, white, 5'3", 94 of 1010 Cars Road, Annapolis, Maryland. He was in possession of a Bud Light can. The second was a...
Excuse me, Detective, but they identify him as being under the age of 21, is that correct?
If the 1994, if I can't do the math immediately, but if 94 on that date would have been a minor.
I don't think so.
Okay. The second was a underage female, as I have listed in my report, Kiana Lynn Lenker, female, white, 7'14", 96, 20 years old.
Okay.
Skyline Road, New Cumberland, PA.
And what about Craig Zrinski?
His DOB is 21094, 204 High Street, Felton, PA.
So he was not a minor.
Right, so it was just one.
Okay. You were correct, sir, and we just had it charged incorrectly. Okay. So now it comes down to this. You're violated for being over capacity by 38 people on October 16, 2016. There are 3 individuals were seen leaving with open containers, and one of them was underage.
Okay, I would like to maybe dispute the overcapacity, because some of those people that it was not that many people was not in the venue. It was not that many people inside the venue. Even though the
when? When? I mean, at 1:20 a.m.?
Yes.
Well, why did it show up on the clicker?
Well, the majority of people were outside, not inside,
Okay, and why were they outside?
in the courtyard.
Chairman, the reason for the exodus at 0120, if I can reflect, it may have even been 130, 0135, as I have listed, they were shut down because they were over capacity. When I knew this was going to happen, Agent and I darted outside because we had a suspicion that there was underage and there were people having cans or going to bring cans out. So when his security staff and he shut the music off and started pushing people out because they were over by 38, that's when we started grabbing the 3 other violations.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I did not. You guys went and got the security and told them to cut it down, cut the music off, and get everybody out. And that's where the commotion begins. All the security leave the gates, the doors, and try to get everybody out and I told them we normally close the music down about 20 minutes to get everybody out. But they went on and had everybody close it down. They had the security to run in and get everybody out immediately. And that's what happened.
Okay. How long have you had this license, sir?
About 5, maybe 5, 6 years.
Okay. And you've never had a violation?
No, sir.
So your contention, if I understand you, is that by forcing the folks out of the establishment, a number of them left with drinks in their hands?
Yes, sir.
And of course, one of them turned out to be under 21.
We don't sell liquor or alcohol to minors at all. No one under 21. Everyone has a wristband. So how they got those containers, I have no idea.
Okay. Do the commissioners have questions?
Were you present at that night?
Yes, ma'am. I was there.
Was it a special event?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the event?
It was a rave event.
What's a rave event? Keeping in mind I'm over 50.
It's a music event.
Okay.
Yeah.
A rave event?
18 and over event.
Okay. So how do 18-year-olds get into the establishment?
Well, they're wristband.
So if they're 18, they get a wristband?
Yes. Yeah. Or they don't get a wristband. They don't get a wristband, but...
Which is it? Which is it?
Well, sometimes they do get a wristband, depending...
What was it that night?
They were wristband.
And so they basically get tagged. If they're under 21, they get a wristband.
No. It all depends. Sometimes they will get a wristband, sometimes...
You understand that it's confusing. Because if your process is that you give a wristband to the people that are under age 21, what do they have to do to get a drink? They take the wristband off.
Well...
Right?
No, we normally card them. The bartenders normally card them. If they
card them at the bar.
Well, let's just talk about the night of October 16.
Yeah.
Was there a carding process in place to get into the rave?
Yes, it
And
was.
tell us about that process.
Process, everyone over 21 got a wristband. Under 21 did not get no wristband, so we did not serve them any alcohol.
So how do you card people? What is the process for determining age?
The security, they check the ID at the gates.
And then do they check again when someone's getting a drink, or just anybody that has a band can have a drink?
Well, everyone, sometimes they will check it. Not, if the person may look a little bit too young, they would determine, the bartender will determine, okay. And we also have certain areas, drinking area, you stay in there and drink, you cannot take the alcohol out.
Can I just share an observation?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just out of it. I don't understand it. But why would you have an event where there's drinking and music, and you're letting in people that are under drinking age? Why do they get in at all? Don't you see the risk in that?
Yeah.
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 It's kind of dangerous, isn't it?
I would say so, but we've changed the way we do.
Tell us how you've changed since this event.
We pretty much kind of, the drinking area, you cannot enter that area unless you're carded and have a wristband, and you cannot take any alcohol out of that area.
So you still allow people underage to come in?
Yeah, but not in that area.
But not in the drinking area. So there's a segregated area.
Yes.
And you understand that's not a foolproof system, that the best thing is to not let people in at all if they're not drinking
that would
age.
probably be the best thing to do.
Is there like a profit motive to, is it because you want to make more money that you let people in that are not
Actually,
drinking
no.
age?
We don't really make any money for people that, a lot of time the events are promoted by a promoter.
Ah.
So we don't really, benefit from gate money. Or,
Okay.
what they charge to come in.
And for the night of October 16, who was in place to make sure that no one left with alcohol?
We normally, the time was big security. He was supposed to be here, but he's not.
Who's Big Security?
Biggs is a company, security
Biggs?
company, that we use.
Okay, so, and they were in place that night?
Yes.
And it was your understanding that they would be responsible for making sure that nobody left with alcohol?
Yeah.
And what is you're Mr. Miller, so you're the owner of this business?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're the licensee?
Mhm.
And do you actually work at this
Yes,
place? You do, and
Mhm.
so you were there that night?
Yes.
Okay, those are all the questions I have right now.
Mr. Miller, do you dispute that someone underage could walk out with a beer?
Well, we never had that situation before.
You've never, but if you've never had that situation and this one instance in the 5 or 6 years you've run the Bamboo, could it have happened? Do you believe it happened? Are you disputing that it
I'm
happened?
not disputing that it did not happen.
Okay, so-
They said it happened.
All right,
I was
so we
not
can put
there,
that to
so-
rest.
Okay.
Okay, so it happened, that's fine, I'll accept that as an admission. I think, are you not admitting it? I'm just trying to understand, what's your position? Because what I heard, in fairness, Mr. Miller, is you have an issue with the overcapacity, which I want to get to, but I want to try and put this one to rest first.
Okay.
Do you admit to the underage, the one underage walking out, or not?
It could have possibly happened.
Okay, I'll take that as, however I'll take that. I
Okay.
appreciate it. But I will say that I do think you have a special responsibility, a heightened responsibility.
Yeah.
And I think this is where Commissioner Moore was. When you have 18-year-olds coming to your establishment, and there doesn't seem to be a clear, uniform approach on how to make sure that you're not serving minors. Now, that aside, you have this other layer of issues where you have, over 700 people apparently in one location, some proportion of whom are minors, where they could get access to a beer or a drink, whatever the case may be. So let me ask you a few questions on the capacity issue, which you still dispute.
Well, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Because, majority of the people were out in the courtyard. They were not inside the building.
All right, so let's take this line of thinking for a little bit. So, who has the clicker?
Security.
Security, so that'd be big security?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever found that their numbers have been a problem? Have you ever asked?
Yeah, we told them this is, at this point, you got to cut it off at this point.
Okay, and so are you saying they didn't cut it off, or they didn't tell you? Are you saying it didn't reach the numbers?
Well, I wasn't aware of
Okay.
what the number was that particular night.
So is it possible that it could be 38 over capacity if you didn't check it that evening? And big security didn't tell you?
That could have possible.
Okay. All right. All right. So let me ask, when you keep referring to everyone outside in the courtyard, at approximately what time do you think that occurred?
When they came in,
So they went out into the courtyard when the detective and the agent came in?
no.
So I'm trying to understand, because you keep referring to the courtyard, I'm just trying to understand.
It's an outside area.
It's an outside area, but where? And was it was that inside? Is that part of your capacity limit?
No.
It's not part of your capacity?
No.
But it's on the premises?
Yes.
So you actually don't have, so you have more capacity than the 687
Well-
persons, the facility?
Well, that's the inside. The fire department told me that the outside doesn't really reflect the numbers on the inside.
Detective or agent, have you ever heard that before?
Oh, I have not.
I mean, the only thing I can think of, if he's referring to the court, you're referring to the courtyard as that big area. So it's inside, it doesn't have a roof.
Yeah.
You can't access that patio area without going inside.
Right, but when we,
Well, you can, but the public can't.
Look, what he's saying is that these individuals had already gone into the club and exited and were hanging out there. And that's not the case, because when I entered that establishment with Detective Greenhill and Inspector Chris Amalis, there was no crowd of people that I had to walk through. And we were in this establishment for a good 30 to 45 minutes, observing things, documenting paperwork, getting the count right. And the first thing we did was speak to this security group, and they gave Mr. Greenhill, Detective Greenhill, the capacity right away. These are the notes from that night he wrote, and he wrote, so he was over capacity by 38 people. He directed this to me because this was my case, but he took the notes there. So what he's saying is people went in and came out and should have been deducted from the count. But these people that he's speaking about, I never saw at this patio or whatever.
And the clicker, I assume, only matters for those entering these counts.
Entering, yes.
So exiting, if Detective Gatto's remarks are accurate, which I have no reason to believe they're not, they would still, the clicker would have represented people coming in, not going out. And that's the issue we're focused on.
Okay.
All right? I don't have anything further.
I mean, doesn't the clicker count backwards if people leave? Can't the clicker deduct people so that more people can come in, right?
Well,
Yes.
Well, they can do that, but we normally don't. Or I'm not even sure if the security does that, but we never had an issue where we have this situation.
Okay, so you feel you've never been over capacity.
No.
But the point of the clicker is to control the number who come in, and you want people to keep coming in because you want to keep collecting that money and you want to have them keep going to the bar and ordering drinks. So if you get to capacity, but if 10 people leave, you take off 10, so 10 more can come in.
Well,
you don't know that?
No, we never done anything like that, as far as I know.
So I'm sorry, Commissioner Moore, Mr. Chairman. So you understand that we're talking a little bit about your operation and making sure, it actually would be, I think, in your benefit to actually reduce those that leave, reduce with the clicker, but that's your decision.
Yeah.
But this is a much bigger and much more serious issue than just the numbers here, right? I mean, when you're at over capacity, and we're looking at 725 people, there's serious risk of fires and serious risk of or people not being able to get out for fire. So this is life and death.
Yeah.
A life and death issue here. So that's why it's serious.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is.
Anything further?
I guess I just would be interested to hear your reaction to all of this. I mean, what are your thoughts about all of this?
Well, it's not good. I mean, I'm somewhat kind of new to the business, so I'm learning as, you know, things arrive. We kind of change our policy to make it a little bit more safer than where we do business. And this, you know.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything further you want to add, sir?
Well, other than, you know, we changing to make our business a little safer in doing it according to where the liquor course that we're supposed to do it.
Okay. On the basis of the testimony presented and the materials that are contained in the investigation report, I would find a violation of Rule 3.08 small a on October 16, 2016 for being over capacity. I'd find 3 violations of Rule 4.16 illegal conduct on the same date for individuals exiting the establishment with alcohol in their hands, and I'd find 1 violation of alcoholic beverages 6309 minor in possession on the same date. Mr. Miller, I didn't find your testimony to be very credible, but I will note that you are here for the first time after 5 years with a license, so I wouldn't be inclined to close you down, but I'm going to fine you $1,000 and give you 30 days to pay it.
Okay. Yeah, but everything I said was,
Well, that's a matter of
you know,
determination.
may not be incredible, but that's what happened.
I also find the violation of being over capacity, 3 of basically the open container charges, and the 1 minor in possession. I concur with not closing the establishment. This is your first time here, but I honestly do not think you appreciate the seriousness. I'm talking. I don't think you appreciate the seriousness of these violations, and you don't seem to have a real understanding of how to cure them. And that is a real concern. Because when you have that, and you've got people in there that are age 18, they shouldn't even be in there, to be honest. Age 18 on up, you're packing them in. If something were to happen, it's hard to get out. You've got young people who are inebriated, who aren't even thinking straight, and you don't seem to have a handle on what's supposed to happen. Your security people aren't here. There's no testimony about what you're actually doing different. I find this to be a real issue. And I'm going to agree with the judge's, with the chair's assessment of $1,000 fine, but you know, I think we could go as high as $3,000 for your first violation, and I think if ever there was a case that justifies that, this is it. But that's not what's going to happen today. But you just got to understand, this is really serious business. There should never be a case where 1 person walks out with an open container, and this night you had 3. And I know I'm lecturing, but I just want you to know how appalling I find this. And 1 underage who shouldn't have even been in there. And this whole notion of putting wristbands on people and having a pen where people drink and don't drink, it's just not a functioning, good solution. It doesn't work. Exhibit A.
So, Mr. Moore, I echo the chairman and Commissioner Moore. I agree to the, I do find the violations as well as, I will agree with the $1,000 fine. My instinct is, like Commissioner Moore, to go higher, but I think this being your first offense, and I'm hopeful that you're getting our message, and I would strongly encourage you to be in touch with the Liquor Commission staff so they can help guide you, so you don't come back to us. Because this is extreme. This is one of the more, in my opinion, one of the more extreme cases we've seen with a number of issues, and that overcapacity charge is scary. So, you know, with that, I do hope that you reach out to staff and get these processes straight.
Thank you, sir.
I'd strongly recommend getting a consultant to give you a better system for controlling the age of your patrons. Because you'll be back.
I won't.
Okay. I'm not
Okay.
a betting person, but, okay.
Thank you all.
30 days to pay.
Yes.
I'd call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Gatto. Thank you.
At some point, talk about your business plan and how you execute it. I'm training him. Have you meet with Mark Foster. Okay?
Serious?
Careful. Are you kidding? Where are we? Subject Singh and Alicia Wines, Badwall LLC, trading as Lombard Liquor and Bar, 1000 West Lombard Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Here for violation of Rule 4.18A, alterations on December the 13th, 2016. Violation of Rule 4.20CI4A, Class BD7 licenses, December the 13th, 2016. Please come forward.
Thought you had taken the day off, Mr. Kadensky. We haven't seen you.
Last week, I called in.
Okay.
Yeah. Ha
Did you
ha.
watch us?
I did.
Did you watch that?
Okay. Can I ask everyone to raise their right hands, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
For the record, Melvin J. Kanansky, 19 East Fayette Street, representing the applicant. We'd take testimony. I think it'd be a little easier to get an explanation here.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you're Mr. Singh?
No.
No, can you?
I'm Miss Singh.
Miss Singh. Okay, and what is this gentleman's name?
I'm the ex-owner.
Can you tell us your name in the microphone, please?
My name is Sarbjeet Singh.
Okay, and this gentleman?
Milton William Doring.
Can you spell your last name, please?
D-O-E-R-I-N-G.
Okay. It's not going to be an admission. So who's going to testify for the board?
I'll go first.
Okay, Inspector.
Inspector Darrell Clark. On December 13th, 2016, at approximately 12:30 p.m., Inspector Darrell Clark arrived at the establishment to conduct a regular scheduled routine inspection. Upon conducting the inspection, I observed that the establishment was under renovation construction. I also observed that the construction of a new packaged goods section, which was in the middle, which was a new walk-in refrigerator with shelving that was there. And there was also a lounge section in the rear of the establishment that was also being renovated. And that was, then after that, I had informed Chief Inspector Mark Fossler to also make observations of the establishment.
You want to have questions for
Yeah,
Inspector
just
Clark?
briefly, had you been in the place before that day you were in there in December?
No, not prior. That's
Okay.
why I actually informed Chief Inspector Mark Fossler.
So you have no idea what it was like before you came in there?
Correct, sir.
Okay. And along with that, when you say renovations, are you saying, did you see that the floor was being replaced, or the place looked nicer or better, or you just saw what you explained?
Well, actually, when I went in, yes, I explained renovations that were being done. I also looked on the outside to see where the front of the establishment, there was a door that was in the center that was actually moved over to the right with new awning that was on there as well. So I also went inside of the establishment and saw that the refrigerator in the middle, you actually could walk in, so a lot of the space has been taken up with the refrigerator that was inside.
Did you check to see whether any permits were pulled for any of the?
I did actually. I went into the establishment and saw that they did obtain a building permit. But I also didn't. I asked for if they had any correspondence from the Baltimore City Liquor Board, and they were not able to provide that.
What would the Baltimore City Liquor Board write to them about?
You said, what would they
Yeah,
write?
what kind of correspondence would they get from the board?
They would get a permit allowing an okay from the Baltimore City Liquor Board to do construction
All right, now you're saying construction, now.
or renovations.
The rule, it says alterations, do you know, is there a definition of alteration in the rules?
Yes, it is.
Can you read me what the definition of alteration is?
I would go get my book, but you're not supposed to make alterations without getting prior authorization from the Baltimore City Liquor Board.
And I'm asking, I mean, I'm not trying to be cute or anything, although I
Yes.
have done it on other occasions.
Mhm.
In your definitions, there's no definition for alteration. I'll let you look at it if you want.
For Rule 418, alterations.
All right, tell me what the definition of alteration is.
A license holder may not make an alteration or addition to licensed premises or change the manner in which alcohol beverages are dispensed without obtaining permission from the board. And then B, it says a licensee may not make installations or alterations on the licensed premises without obtaining the required permits and approvals from the city.
So they've got their permits, you verified that,
Correct.
okay? But there's
For the,
no-
for
There's
the,
no real definition of what an alteration is in your definitions.
Okay, I think that's the legal
Got
argument.
it.
We can understand that.
I would,
Plain meaning of the word. Plain meaning of the word. Plain meaning of the word.
I'm
Okay.
not trying to gild the lily here.
Me either.
Do you
Just
have any
making sure you hear
further
me.
questions for the inspector? Okay. Chief Inspector Fossler, did you have testimony?
Mark Fossler, Chief Inspector, Baltimore City Liquor Board. After receiving information from Inspector Clark, I visited the establishment on December 14th, and at approximately 3 p.m. and with Acting Executive Secretary Douglas Page, and visit the establishment, Lombard Liquor and Bar, formerly known as 60s and 70s Club. The establishment was not operating at this point because it was undergoing extensive renovations. The interior of the bar itself had been removed. A large portion of the west wall was utilized by refrigerated cool boxes. The construction supervisor said that the bar would be replaced after work to repair the floor was completed. He also said that the cool boxes were recently added. A small walk-in box had been removed. And in my opinion, that licensees of this establishment expanded the sales and distribution space for alcohol, and that there was no floor plan in our records indicating or illustrating the renovated interior that was submitted to the board for approval.
You just let me, had you been there before this date?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you say the whole area is licensed for sales and distribution? Whole area of the place, isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's just a question of how they were doing it, but the whole first floor has a sales and distribution. With regard to the place before, did they have walk-in boxes and refrigerators that you could take alcoholic beverages out of?
Well, as I remember, the cool box was maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 feet by 10 feet, something like that. And that the current cool boxes that are there look to be 3 times what it was. And I wasn't able to see the bar because the bar had been removed. It just, in my opinion, my observation was that the majority of the space had been dedicated to an expansion of becoming a packaged goods store. And this is a BD7 license, tavern license. And that the tavern portion, as before, was relegated to the rear, but there was that the addition of the cool boxes, and then that was on was substantial. But then there was a renovation and an addition of a wall with plexiglass that was in front of the cool boxes that extended the length of the building back to the bar portion. That was, in my opinion, an extensive renovation, and that there was no floor plan in our records that showed that this renovation was approved or was even submitted.
Along with that, when you were in there prior to that, when Mr. Deering had the place, the gentleman here, they were selling packaged goods from up in the front, correct?
That's right, they were.
Right, and that's where they're selling it from now, when you were in there the last time.
They had a different door, but yeah.
Yeah, all right. And the place looked a lot better when it all spruced up.
I don't deny that. I'm not criticizing the quality of the renovations. I just, and if they had submitted a floor plan, and the board had approved it, no problem.
And along with that, have you been back there recently?
I have not.
Okay. And taking into consideration so when you were back there, the bar itself, they were doing work on it. It wasn't up on where a bar would normally be. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
There was no bar at all.
Okay. But they were still working in that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as far as the permits and so forth, you don't have any doubt that they pulled the permits. I'll submit them. That's okay.
I believe that they pulled the permits.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions.
Okay. Do you want to present testimony?
Yeah. Let me just give you a little flavor here.
May I ask you a question or ask your client a question?
I'm going to put them on.
You can, but I'm curious why they didn't submit a floor plan.
Well, because when we were doing, and I think she'll explain that in a second, as to what she thought would be done and what Mr. Deering, who owned the place for, 40, 50 years? Right after we got electricity, they got the license. Okay. Let me submit as exhibits. I don't often get building permits, as you might know.
They will be received. Thanks.
So, to the credit of the proposed licensee, who is, as you know, is a new licensee, they went and got the permits to do the changes they were making. I don't know their renovations. The floor had to be replaced. It was because the water was leaking from the old units, and Mr. Deering will explain that to you. They also got inspections, and I only got 2 of these, I'm sorry, showing that it was inspected.
I don't need it. It's okay.
And basically what they did, they really spruced the place up.
But let me understand. Okay, so Ms. Singh took over this license in October, right?
Correct.
And did she then, was it closed at that point?
No.
But she closed it to do renovations, is that right?
The floor needed an extensive replacement, which was the major part of it. Then if you look, the place hadn't anything, and Mr. Deering had 50 years, nothing's been done to it. So they went in and brightened the whole place up. They put a new door on the front, for the customers that come in. The walk-in boxes they had were old. She replaced them.
Let me get to my question, which is simply this. Apparently, the objection is that the percentage of the space that was allocated to the tavern versus the carryouts got altered somehow. How much is my question?
I don't think so, but I'll let Mr. Deering explain, because he was the one that was there before, and I think you get an idea from him. See, the problem that you have is that I have a tough time talking to I was in Howard County, same thing. Nobody that's on the boards ever owned the liquor establishment or has any idea how they work, or family owns them for a long period of years. And what happens is, go through a period of time. Now, look, I've owned bars, restaurants, and nightclubs. I'm certifiable at this point.
But this
Well,
is not.
not because you've owned a bar.
But this is
You're
not rocket science. I'm just asking. Obviously, they were trying to make some changes to upgrade the place. I just wanted to know how different it was in terms of the allocation between one and the other.
It was newer, and things were moved a little bit. Now, whether or not it was more, I don't think they were using the place to its capacity when Mr. Deering had it. That's the reason why he sold it. He wanted to retire, or he's out of the business.
Was Ms. Singh aware that if she did make some alteration in the allocation of the resources, that it might require some liquor board approval?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I'll let her explain that to you. Let me just hear from Mr. Daring, he came all the way down here.
Well, I believe, Mr. Daring, you're going to tell us that it needed upgrading, right?
Well, it definitely needed upgrading, but you're talking about the big reach-in box, I think is the main concern.
Okay.
I had 3 under-counter boxes, 3-door, and an old, probably 30s curved top board, which did leak. Plus a single door, a double door, and a 3-door reach-in box, plus a walk-in box. And what they've done, they consolidate all this into this one big box, which makes it more economically feasible.
And what, the tavern area, did it get reduced in size?
Yes, but they're going to expand the tavern size. I explained to them that it's way too small at this time, and they're going to extend it out.
Let's hear from Ms. Singh what she wants
Well,
to
but
do.
let me just ask this question, because you're an old timer. I always like to hear from the old timers, and I think the board should hear from them a little bit. And you've had a lot of your old customers come in and say, what about the place?
Oh, it's a great improvement, it really is.
I don't think we have any problem with Ms. Singh trying to upgrade the place. We think that's a good thing.
Okay.
I just want to know what her plans are.
Good, you give your name and address for the record.
Sarabjit Singh, 5832 Dillon John Court, White Marsh, Maryland, 21162.
Were you aware of this issue that we're debating today, that if you made some change in the allocation between the tavern and the packaged goods, that you might have a problem?
No, sir, I was definitely not aware of that. When I actually first came for my license, I want you guys to understand, I had no intention of changing anything, because we were going to go in and my intention was to take over exactly how it is. We went in, my husband and I, I was off from work, so we went in and we took in, I'm like, okay, let's start cleaning the place up even more. Started cleaning the place up and moved things around, and the floor it was really, really bad. And then we started making the changes, and we're like, okay, put that in. And then just like Mr. Milton said, there were definitely a lot of different coolers. So we thought, okay, rather than take all of these, let's put one big cooler in there to kind of consolidate for all those smaller coolers that we had there. Had I known I'm supposed to tell you guys, believe me, I'm very meticulous about those kind of details. I would have came up to you guys a long time ago, went on to Melvin, say, this is what do I need to do. I'm learning. That's all I can say.
Okay, I mean, I think that's an honest response.
This is the original.
Yeah, but you can understand that when the inspectors came in, it was a significant change, and they're under an obligation to advise us that it's being done without our approval.
Yes, sir. I definitely agree with that.
Can I ask?
Please, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Can I ask Chief Foster a question? So, explain to me why, I recognize our rules and regulations, the alteration language, but given the fact that this licensee has gone forward with a building permit, explain to me why the commission needs to vote on an alteration. I just want to understand why it's so important.
Okay. After I had gotten information from Inspector Clark and then viewed the place myself, I came back and pulled the file. That's why I looked at what was submitted by the licensee as to the floor plan of the establishment. That what was there and what was being renovated was significantly not, I wouldn't even bring something that was a minor issue before the board. But to me, it looked like a significant change in what had been submitted to the board when the license was transferred, as opposed to what had occurred. And that if you have a BD7 license and if you acquire a BD7 7-day license, and that if you're relegating that license to be a packaged goods store, then that's an issue.
No, I understand. That's really where I was trying to kind of get my head around why we should really care, and is because this is, for me at least, it's in particular because it's a BD7 license, and if you're changing the layout, you may change the use, which is directly at odds with your license, potentially the class of license. So, thank you.
So now that you're aware of this, Mr. Daring says you have plans to increase the size of the tavern?
So I'm not increasing the size of the tavern. It's more of putting like the bar tables in there. I have a picture. I've ordered the bar tables, making sure that they're. And Mr. Milton made me aware that I can't just order. Honestly, I have Amazon on my phone. So he's like, you can't go on Amazon and order bar tables. So they have to be certified. So I got them through Carry Distributors. They're certified place. They just got delivered today. So I had my husband, please take a picture. I want to be able to present this. But go about from there, So if that one area, so I have to discuss it with my husband. If I am going to add a countertop in there, now I know that I need to run it by you guys and not just go ahead and add anything like that.
And I see you put a big screen TV in there. You're going to do, people come in and do the Final Four and so forth?
Oh my goodness, I have people asking about the basketball games. Honestly, this time we've been open, I've been getting 50-50 sales in the bar as well as from the packaged goods. I've had people come in, they're excited about St. Patrick's Day. They're like, can you guys put up decorations? I'm like, well, I don't know if I can do that or not. I didn't even know about that.
So I just wanted to share my perception. First of all, I applaud you for making the changes and certainly making the bar area more usable.
Thank you.
Anyone who watches these cases knows that my pet peeve are the BD7 license where people don't actually use the bar area.
Oh.
So I personally appreciate all that you're doing. I also appreciate that you need to have permission from this board to do those renovations, and that didn't happen here. In addition to monitoring and regulating the size, there's also an issue with capacity and the fire code, and you did get the permits from the city, and that's good, but this board needs to know what's happening in the establishment, because we need to know what is your area of responsibility in the event that there are problems in the future. So it's a step that you didn't take that you should have taken. But the outcome sounds like it's good, like you're doing a really, really good thing. And I think we appreciate that investment and making that progress. But you need to get permission from this board for all the reasons that have been stated.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. As I'm learning about everything, believe me, I'm not going to do anything else until I make sure I'm in touch with the board.
Well, there needs to be an application that comes, as I understand it, there needs to be an application that comes before this board and that we hear and then approve for the changes. But as you stand here today, that hasn't happened, and that's why there's a violation. And sort of an example for anybody else that is buying a license and wanting to make changes. You've got to get permission.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just to add that they spend probably $40,000 or $50,000 making it nicer and making it brighter for the neighbors and everything, and you know the neighborhood. And one of the things I did find out when I was in Jamaica was that on Thursday when you guys were having hearings, there was 8 people were shot in the city.
So what's your point?
The point is that in Jamaica there weren't 8 people shot in the whole country.
So what?
Well, it's a
You're bringing in.
place.
I just want to tell you this. You're bringing in a whole issue that has nothing to do with this case, and I don't think we want to go there.
I think,
and I don't think it has absolutely no bearing on this case and what she did or did not do, and I don't appreciate it. I just got to say it. I don't appreciate it.
Point taken.
Okay. So, on the basis, I just want to be very clear. You've been very candid about what you failed to do, and the inspectors did their job, and so I want to commend them for that. They're supposed to bring it to our attention when there's a problem. But I find that there was a violation of Rule 4.18 small a on December 13 and Rule 4.20 CI4A on December, probably the next day, I think, the 14th. And these, in my view, in this case, come down to technical violations, because you weren't really aware you were supposed to do this, although you probably should have been. And you're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to enhance the value of this property and take care of your license responsibly. So I would impose a $100 fine, give you 30 days to pay it, and say to you, be very careful and do things the right way, and talk to your lawyer in the future to make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
I agree. I don't think it's a technical violation. I think it's an actual violation. I agree that the inspectors did exactly what it is that we expect them to do and that they're actually required to do and that they're charged to do. It's a clear violation. Not knowing what the law is not an excuse. So I do find the violation. My thought on the fine is a $500 fine.
So I too find a violation. I think I appreciate your candor. I appreciate the fact that you recognize this is an issue, but you're also doing it to invest and improve the location, and I appreciate that. I also appreciate Mr. Deering, who is helping to guide you on such things.
yes.
So I'm going to join the chairman with just a $100 fine, because I think you probably have spent enough, although Mr. Kadensky is well worth it, I'm sure. But I think you spent enough, and I think this is a message that has been delivered.
Yes, sir.
So,
Definitely. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. You'll have 30 days to pay it.
Yes, sir.
That's all right, but you're helping guide her, so I appreciate that.
I think they're exhibits, though.
Yes, they are. I'd like to call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, investigation report, Inspector Darrell Clark. Board Exhibit 2, BLC routine inspection report, Inspector Darrell Clark. Exhibit 3, photos. Exhibit 4, investigation report, Chief Inspector Mark Fossler. Applicant Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Housing Department permit search results. Applicant Exhibit 2, Baltimore City building permit inspection ticket. And applicant Exhibit 3, photos. Thank you.
Did you need to be on the record? Okay, we'll be adjourned then for today's docket. Thank you.